Micro podcast. Today we'll be looking to cover high performance compute with AI, deep learning, and also virtualization. Hosting today, we've got myself, Richard Tricklebank, the business manager at Ingram Micro. I look after both the strategic and go-to-markets for the guys at NVIDIA. On my left we have Sarah, and we have Rob here on my right.
Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Mannion from NVIDIA. I look after our channel technology enablement, so it's my job to work with our partners to ensure that they understand what our technologies are and how to sell and to position them.
As Richard said, my name is Rob Dixon. I'm the distribution and channel manager in EMEA, and it's my job to make sure distribution is enabled to talk about our products and drive our business into the channel, and also work with our channel partners as well.
Thank you both. So I think first we're talking about AI and high performance compute. What's your sort of gathering of AI thus far?
From my perspective, AI is a buzzword in the industry at the moment, and everybody wants to be involved with it and say they're involved with it. And NVIDIA is a key part if you want to have AI within your business as an end user and sell it within the channel. One area I like to associate with is maybe cloud 5 to 10 years ago, where people didn't really know what it was or what it was going to do to their business, but they knew it was important. And over the last 5 years, people have now understood it and it's implemented into people's businesses, and then they know what to do with it. And AI is at the cusp of that again. The people already dealing with it are driving it, and there's real world case business out there where it's made a difference. End user examples in particular. But we want to now bring it to the channel so they can understand what it means for them.
That's right. I mean, I think, I know when I speak to lots of customers in the channel, we see a lot of, I'll discuss AI, I'll discuss deep learning, we'll discuss automation. And automation in particular has obviously been in the news a lot over the last sort of year to 18 months. But the actual understanding of the gap of knowledge potentially between what we see in the news but then what we see actually in the IT channel, I think there's a lot for us to do out there to bring up that awareness.
Yeah, I think, as Rob says, AI, artificial intelligence, has this idea, this image to many of us that it's something very complex. I think certainly films like Terminator, that's what people think. AI, artificial intelligence, is really systems, machines, processes that are able to make decisions by themselves, i.e. not human intelligence. So it's really just a process of giving a system some rules, some criteria, so that it can make a decision without a human having to get involved. One of the use cases I've seen a lot of, for example, are things like fraud detection in financial services, something that's very important to many of us. There is a simple program that can run behind a person being on the phone to their bank that is just simply looking for keywords. Words that, if we were under threat or a cyber attack, something that we may say, or a question that might be being asked of us, just simple keywords that then triggers a response. The AI routine is simply saying, we've heard this mentioned a few times in a conversation, that's not really a normal conversation, I will flag that to a fraud detection algorithm.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good example, because at the end of the day, what we're really looking at is AI in conjunction with high performance compute and what is now on the market, what is now enabled with technology in 2018. There are a lot of things where our customers and end users are sat there thinking it'd be great if we could do this, but this has been something that's not been economically viable until the last, let's say, 6, 10, 12, 18 months. But now all of a sudden it's something that tier 1 partners, tier 1 end users are investing massively in. And it's really helping people realise these innovative technologies.
And you can see that through some of the OEMs. They're starting to push this message out as well about having GPUs in your solution to drive accelerated data centers and drive AI as a technology, because they can see the value in it as well. And that's going to be a fundamental shift in the IT industry, and it's happening now. And what amazes me still when I speak to channel partners is that even the ones who've been in it for absolutely years and are clued up on technology still don't know about it. They still don't know having a GPU as a processor within your solution fundamentally changes the how the solution is going to be solved.
What you can do.
Exactly what you can do with it, the cost behind it, absolutely everything. And I do believe in 2 to 4 years' time that will be the norm. But we're still trying to get the message out there, which is why we want to work with Ingram to drive that message into the channel. So it's absolutely key.
I mean, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. All, as Sarah, you've said, all AI actually is a series of routines and checks that, yes, it takes a long time to set up that initial bit of programming and awareness, and the amount of data that needs to be computed to achieve what you're looking to do is phenomenal. As you said, Rob, it's GPUs now being incorporated within the data center that's helping to achieve this. Where before you'd have banks and banks, racks and racks full of servers to achieve this, you can do that same thing in just a couple of racks. It's really quite mind-blowing.
Absolutely. Back to talking about buzzwords, and it used to be cloud, now it's AI. We used to have a thing called big data. I think all of our customers understand big data, and over probably the last 5 years, our customers have gathered lots of data, lots of information, and AI is perhaps that next step of business intelligence from all of that data. But in order to process all of that data, you need to have a computing platform. As you said, Richard, CPUs used to be the way that this was done, and still is in many organisations. But a GPU, I often challenge people to think of them not as a graphics card, but as a processing unit. That's what GPU stands for. So it is a processing unit, and it's different to a CPU. It can take a lot of data and process it very quickly. A CPU is very serial in the way it processes data. It takes a task, it processes it, takes another task, processes it. A GPU takes lots of data and processes it simultaneously. So if you're thinking of collections of big data and intelligence, you need that computing power to be able to process all of that data in one go. And when you're thinking about AI or even going into deep learning, HPC, that's when you really need the most processing power available to quickly process all that data. And the most effective way of doing that, the fastest way of doing that, is with a GPU.
And that is, for me, from a channel perspective, if you're a channel partner, you want to be the ones discussing GPU technology in an enterprise environment with your end users, because your competition will not be doing it at the moment, because it is still new technology. So if you can get yourself clued up with Ingram and with NVIDIA, then that will make the difference between you and trying to sell the old technology against everybody else and then basically coming down to price. Or you can understand what a GPU solution can mean, and you're not selling on price, you're selling on technology and the advanced solution of it, rather than and that should allow you to make more money, more margin, and just a better business practice. And you'll be seen as a thought leader, a technology leader to your customers, and that's why they'll come back to you, rather than just coming to you for a price on a solution they can get from anybody.
I think that's a key point, Rob. I mean, at the end of the day, you really can make a difference by including GPU. But I know this could potentially be a quite contentious point for you guys, but are there any more use cases we can potentially give, just to give an idea of, tweak the imagination as to, actually, that is a solution that we have worked on. I almost didn't realise we were using AI, deep learning, automation, HPC.
Yeah, great question. Loads. These technologies are everywhere. A common example we tend to give NVIDIA is that throughout the course of your working day, you probably come across AI, deep learning, whether you're using online assistants like Siri or Google, whether you're using Google as a search engine, you're looking for data, give me some answers. All of these processes are using compute power. That's how they're deriving at the answers. The application of AI is probably the more difficult thing to think of when we're speaking to our customer. anyone who has to use an application to do lots of calculations or number crunching, that's going to be using compute. That will probably benefit from AI. Anywhere that any sort of subroutine that needs to find an answer, any calculation, they're all examples of where this technology can be used.
And there's key verticals, but almost any vertical we've looked into can benefit from having GPUs as a solution, either in an accelerated data center or in an AI deep learning environment, depending on what they're trying to achieve. But it could be medical or educational or pharmaceutical, engineering, oil and gas. We've got a huge amount of case studies which we can share through Ingram of real world examples of what people have done with GPU technology to help change their business. And that's something obviously we can share through Ingram from my perspective. The thing I guess from an NVIDIA point of view I'd want to get across is that we're a brand people know within the channel, so people know who we are. What they know us for is our gaming graphics cards, which we've been doing for the last 25 years. And so that's a good thing about from an NVIDIA perspective. We're not an unknown brand trying to explain what, getting into a new market. We built this technology. It's based off the graphics cards and the graphics units we've always produced. And now, with our technology, we've changed those into the processor units, as Sarah was saying. So we want NVIDIA to be thought as an enterprise company, not just the consumer card company which we're known for. And again, I still feel that's missing in the channel. People know NVIDIA, but they don't understand our enterprise business, and that's why we want to do these sort of things. So if you have those questions, you can come to Ingram and then come to us to obviously help drive that.
So thank you for coming in to see us in Milton Keynes, and thank you for watching and joining us. As I've already mentioned, if you've got any questions, please forward them on either to your Ingram account manager or your OEM specialist, and then any questions they have can be passed on to either myself, Richard Tricklebank, or onto my team, and we'll make sure we're in touch with you as soon as we can be. Thank you very much.